Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m., the dog would stop breathing for 1 single second. No sound, no movement, just silence so deep it felt heavy, like the air itself had frozen. Lena always woke at that exact moment, her eyes snapping open before she even understood why. Her heart would already be racing as she whispered her dog's name into the darkness, waiting for the sound of his breath to return. Shadow was a large black dog with calm, intelligent eyes and a thin scar across his left ear. Lena had rescued him from a shelter years ago, and from that day on, he never left her side. He slept beside her bed every night, followed her from room to room, and positioned himself between her and the door whenever she felt uneasy. Living alone near the forest was never something Lena planned, but with Shadow there, the house felt protected, safer. The first time Lena noticed something was wrong, rain tapped softly against the windows, filling the house with a gentle rhythm. She woke suddenly to a faint scratching sound drifting from the hallway. It wasn't frantic or loud. It was slow, careful, like fingernails dragging deliberately across wood. Shadow stood up immediately, his body stiff, ears forward, eyes locked on the bedroom door. "It's nothing," Lena whispered, her voice shaky. Shadow didn't move. He didn't bark. He didn't relax. He simply listened, his chest rising slowly as if he were measuring every sound beyond the door. The scratching stopped without warning. Silence returned, thicker than before. Lena forced herself to breathe, convincing herself it was her imagination, and closed her eyes again. Shadow remained standing until morning. When Lena opened the front door the next day, her stomach dropped. Muddy footprints covered the porch, bare human footprints. They came from the direction of the forest, stopped directly in front of her door, and then disappeared as if the person had simply vanished into thin air. The police searched the area later that afternoon. They found no tracks, no signs of forced entry, nothing unusual. They suggested it might have been a prank. Shadow growled the entire time they were there, his eyes fixed on the trees beyond the house, his body tense until the officers finally left. That night, Lena locked everything, windows, doors, curtains. Shadow slept pressed tightly against her legs, his warmth grounding her. At exactly 2:17 a.m., Lena woke again. Shadow was standing. This time she heard breathing, not his, slow and wet, drifting from the hallway like something struggling to inhale. Her phone lay on the nightstand within reach, but Shadow let out a deep warning growl she had never heard before. It vibrated through the room, low and threatening. Then a whisper slipped through the darkness. "Lena." Her blood turned cold. No one ever visited her. No one knew her routines. No one should know her name. The bedroom door handle began to turn, slowly, carefully. Shadow exploded into barking, charging the door with a force that shook the frame. The breathing stopped instantly. The whisper vanished like it had never existed. In the morning, long scratch marks covered the hallway walls. They were too high, too deep, carved into the wood as if by something far stronger than any animal. The presence returned every night after that, always watching, always waiting, always careful not to cross the dog. Lena began to understand something terrifying. Whatever was inside her house wasn't there for Shadow. It was there for her, and Shadow was the only thing keeping it away. Desperate for answers, Lena searched through old town records and forgotten news articles. She discovered that years ago, a man had lived in her house, a man accused of kidnapping young girls. He vanished one night without a trace. The final report mentioned neighbors hearing dogs barking uncontrollably near the forest. At 2:16 a.m. the next night, Lena stayed awake. The air grew cold, pressing against her skin. A tall shadow formed in the hallway, twisted and unnatural, its shape barely human. "You shouldn't have brought the dog," it whispered. Shadow charged without hesitation. His bark filled the house, powerful and fearless, echoing off the walls. The shadow screamed, not in pain, but in fear, unraveling like smoke. "You don't belong here anymore," Lena shouted. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the darkness disappeared. The house felt warm again, quiet. The nights after were peaceful. Shadow slept soundly. Lena eventually moved away from the forest, but Shadow stayed by her side, older now, calmer. Every night at 2:17 a.m., she still wakes up. Now she smiles when she hears him breathing. If you ever wake up and hear your dog breathing beside you, don't be afraid. It means something else isn't.
For more content, like, subscribe our channel.